Richardson.
Hey.
Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. So, what are you doing to ensure that students are progressing within your classroom?
So I've actually been going over like every little detail. I've been doing lessons. Um, I've been doing Padlets. We did a Kahoot review this morning for the mid-domain assessment that they took today. Trying to incorporate a lot of different things. For small groups, I've been, of course, if you look behind you, there's still charts with all of that good stuff. I've been giving them more homework, more independent practice, those things like that. Trying to get them to be a little bit more independent because it is almost the end of the year. I don't want them to just be relying on, getting help with everything. So I'm trying.
And what are the steps you take to ensure that you have a print rich, content based classroom environment?
I started putting up more anchor charts. I've started doing interactive anchor charts with the kids, especially with this unit. As you can see over there, I have those interactive anchor charts. Small group anchor charts, um, slide presentations, near pods. Try to make sure they have as much visual stuff as they can to learn. It's actually been working because we were doing reviews yesterday and I seen kids looking around trying to find answers. So I'm assuming it's working. I guess.
How's the progression of your burst lessons going?
So burst lessons with the in-person kids is actually going pretty good. I have had to kind of cut short on some stuff, but I'm trying to get all of the groups in. Burst lessons with the virtual kids is not going so well. I haven't started the second one yet, being honest, because there's not enough time. Because we have announcements. Announcements are usually done between 7:50 and 8. Um, then we have to do knowledge, which is supposed to take an hour, but I'm supposed to start small groups at 8:30. So from 8 to 8:30, it's kind of like I'm going to have to rush to try to get everything. So I want to give them, since knowledge is a focus, I want to make sure I cover everything and not cut too much out. Um, so I'm just trying to squeeze everything into a small window. So I haven't really been able to start the burst lessons for the in-person kids, and then a lot of my kids not showing up anymore. So
How do you stay organized with your student groups and your burst lessons?
well, I have the groups. Well, no, we have the groups listed. So, especially with the afternoon kids, there's one group that goes with Mrs. Petters at 1:50. Um, then I start getting ready for the groups that starts at 2. I'll have the kids either jump on Prodigy, Mayan, and read a book, grab a book from the library, or do the Reading Texas elementary practice while we're doing small groups. Um, Sometimes we actually do a little bit of skills before small groups. I'll have them do independent practice in their skills workbooks, the stuff that we work on while we're doing small groups. Um, and then after they finish this first small group, I send them to do the independent practice, bring the next group in. I've been having to break up the small groups because, of course, you can see there's not a lot of space back here. One of my groups has 6, the other one has 4. So the group of 6, I'll do 3 and 3 and give them each 20 minutes. And then the last group of 4, I'll give them 30 to kind of try to make sure I get everything in. But it's been working pretty well so far. So it's good.
Okay. And then our last question, how would you describe your classroom during your CKLA block? So what is the feel of your classroom, right? What is the teacher doing? What are students doing on a typical day?
Okay, so on a typical day, of course, we start with announcements. I make sure I acknowledge every single child that's in the class, say good morning. I require them to say good morning back before I move on to the next one. Then during CKLA, I normally explain what we've talked about before, what we're talking about today, and then what we're going to cover in the future. Um, at the beginning, I always try to do like back and forth. I ask them a question, have them respond. Normally, that's what we do during that. Then I'll introduce the read aloud, kind of give them context of what's going on in the lesson, what's going to happen in the lesson. Then they'll listen to the read aloud. During the read aloud, I'll periodically pause and talk about what's happening, important parts, go over some vocabulary. Then after that, we do our comprehension questions. I'll ask the questions. I do require everybody to respond. We kind of do it like as a whole group, so I kind of require them to respond to that. Word work comes up next. I always go over the word work. I try to simplify it for them. Like one of our words was expand. And I was like, so just think of a balloon. You have a balloon that's flat. When you blow it, it actually gets bigger and expands. So I try to kind of give them something that they can actually understand instead of like what the book has, because it could be a little bit advanced. So I try to kind of bring it down to their level so where they actually understand the word and the vocabulary. Then after that, we'll do some sort of activity, whether that's a thumbs up, thumbs down. I usually do like 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it's multiple choice, I'll say hold up 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C, 4 for D. That kind of eliminates a little bit of the noise because they like to just yell out. So I'll say just raise your finger 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, with this group, it is a lot of stuff that we do together, like I said, because of their dependency. But I've kind of been weaning them off of that a little bit. So during CKLA, that's what we're doing. They love the skills, though. The skills is fun. They love skills.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Richardson.
You're welcome. You're welcome.